welcome to my channel. Today we'll look at Valyria and the Doom. In the world of Game of Thrones, there once existed a mighty empire in Essos known as Valyria. This empire was ruled by Dragonlords who bred dragons and dominated the known world for centuries. But how did this mighty empire end? Power. And why is it that only a handful of people remember it? The answer, my friends, lies in the cataclysmic doom of Valyria. Now, there are a few things you should know about this event. First off, when we're talking about the Doom, we're talking about an event that happened around 1700 years before the series takes place. Second, the Doom didn't just wipe out the Empire. It pretty much wiped out the entire continent. And third, House Targaryen was one of the few houses to survive the Doom. In fact, they were so closely related to Valyria that they actually fled to Dragonstone, which is just off the coast of the mainland. So let's get into it. The Targaryens ruled over Valyria alongside other powerful families like the Valyrians and the Celtic, but together they dominated the known world, pillaging across the land with their massive armies and dragons. However, the good times didn't last forever. As we all know, the Dothraki eventually overthrew the and took over the plains of Essos. What we're talking about today is the cataclysmic event that almost completely wiped out the memory of Valyria from the minds of men. So what exactly happened? Well, what we do know is that the Doom had something to do with blood. These massive subterranean creatures lived beneath the earth and were known to cause earthquakes whenever they moved. But that's about all we know because the records were destroyed during the Doom. However, scholars believe that the bloodworms had something to do with magic. After all, this is a world where people can control the weather and bring the dead back to life. So it is not too much of a stretch to believe that these massive creatures were somehow magically enhanced. Perhaps some over-clever mage messed with the wrong kind of earth, or maybe the bloodworms were always this way. It doesn't really matter. All that really matters is that they caused the Doom. We know that the Doom happened suddenly and without warning. One moment everything was fine, and the next moment the earth was rumbling and fire rained from the sky. We also know that most of the Valyrian cities were destroyed, leaving only a handful of survivors. And finally, we know that House Targaryen was one of the few houses to survive the Doom. If you want to learn more about Valyria and the Doom, then I suggest you check out the detailed lore provided below. Now, as for why only a handful of people remember Valyria, well, that because most of the people in Westeros were either killed during the Doom or simply forgot about it over time. After all, it's not like they had any records or anything to remind them of it. But those who did remember it knew that it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Thank you for watching.